Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back to another review of course, this time we're gonna be looking at Days Gone over on the PS4, playing it on original PS4 hardware, and how exactly did the game hold up since there is some, I get the way to put it, some disjointed care for the game to the point of not caring to the point of being bad. Oh, well, am I gonna fall in all this? And after putting in 53 plus hours of this, I have a pretty strong opinion. But before we get to all of that, why don't you guys hit that subscribe button if you would like, and do the like, do the favorite, hit bells, you know what to do by that point. So with that out of the way, let's get to my opinion of Days Gone, shall we? So, Days Gone pick up 2 years after a non-zombie apocalypse here, with the monsters in it not really being zombies, as far as being actual alive creatures that have to feed, sleep, drink, and whatnot, but happen to act the same way as any other zombie plague would. And we pick up with our main character, a Deacon St. John, and one of his only friend and surviving companion from his biker game Boozle, as they are pretty much just surviving, doing odd jobs for random community, might it be bounty hunting, taking out bandit camps, and so on. And the story itself is pretty much made up of the characters kind of just doing odd jobs, like I said, we hit about an 8-hour mark, which this is where we get into some interesting ideals, because the bigger complaint going into this that I heard, which is sadly true, is this game take way too long to get going. In the beginning, it's just not interesting. The characters do not have any motivation. It's so hard to get attached to the characters, which is so very true, because for whatever reason, the characters, any pre-apocalypse or ab watching them loved one die around them, very much have the attitude of like, oh well, and not in like a charming way, as in just like direction wasn't given to the actors to get the feeling across of what is happening. So in return, the characters just feel very apathetic in a lot of ways. But about 8 or so hours in, the story do pick up, and it really feel like a light switch go off, because the character all of a sudden feel like they have personality and have motivation, which is fantastic. Which lead into the net part of the game being much more into surviving, continuing doing an odd job, and of course our main character, Deacon, trying to come to terms with the loss of his wife, who he pretty much took on a plane and sent her on her way during the beginning of the apocalypse, and him trying to figure out, is she dead, is she not, and coming to terms with what that means for him on a mental level. And when we start moving past that, we also start getting into the lore of how these zombie-esque monsters actually exist, how they operate, how to actually fight them, which in return, you're gonna need to know how to fight them, since there is a lot of them in there, which for anyone who is aware, pretty much the biggest selling point for this game, it was, of course, the giant groups of zombies that you will be fighting, because you will be fighting groups into the thousands, which in return, they pull off. And honestly, it's some of the most hectic, and as well as the most irritating part of the game, since fighting them is very, very fun, but in return, the way the game set up most encounters, it in return to become easier to just pull like kite like a few hundred at a time and take them out, which in return kind of take away of the giant thrill, is way more safe, way more lightly, since don't really get enough ammo to fully take out all of these zombies, at least in a gunfight anyway, but you can set up traps and other mechanics to help you. It's just a little sad that realistically 90% of the time you won't be fighting the hordes the way they really want you to. Any of you will be fighting them, of equal amount though. That right there is pretty much the story in a nutshell. We have the Horde being the gold treasure of what that game do, and the story of trying to figure out the wife and what exactly happened with the zombie and how this all happened. But in between all of that, pretty much as a one-of-the-mill bounty hunter here, you are tasked by doing the same thing you probably have done a million times in any other open world game. Might it be between clearing out camps, clearing out bases of where zombies live, may it be collecting flowers or items, or going to catch a person who is running away from you. Is pretty much, other than the big disconnect in the story, is the other not really a problem, just the most disappointing part of this game. Because this game is very one-of-the-mill when it comes to what you do between one mission to the next. It's not repetitive, but could easily become that, especially with how the gameplay loop here is. Lucky enough, the game itself, if you getting dozens of missions, might it be from one camp for another, it does a good job at for like balancing them if you just let the auto quests, pretty much tracking stuff automatically next in line. It do a good job of doing pretty much main mission, hunting mission, camp destroying, so on, in a way that stop it from being repetitive, which is quite nice. But at the same time, if you are just trying to build respect up in certain community, a little bit of, irritation might come in here and a little bit of repetitiveness. Since the best way to unlock equipment in it and to make money and deal with the economy of the game is the court by working for each of the communities, which some have weapons, some have upgrade to your motorcycle, which is your main transportation around the open area, and then others will just be more money. And how they all work is between doing job for them, between doing story mission for them, and then of course you will have a random event that happens while you're out and about just traveling, where you can run into people being wholehearted by groups of evildoers, or you can find some like trapped in vehicles surrounded by hordes or just zombies, and you can save. And once you do so, you can pick where you want to send the people, and you will get rewarded in a currency and as well as reputation with each camp, which in return, as you rank up, you will unlock more and more stuff. So if you want to focus more on guns, it's probably better to send character to a camp opposed to the other camp, which is honestly probably one of the best part here other than the giant zombie fight, because it's interesting trying to balance everything as far like trying to get better weapon to do better in combat, or just trying to upgrade your bike so you're not running out of gas nearly as much, since you do have a gas tank that will run out and you have to scavenge for more fuel if you do, and they do a really good job of doing that balancing. And then on top of that, hunting down zombies and pretty much collecting their yield to turn in a bounty will also give you more money, and that whole part is fantastic. It does have a couple issues outside of that, though. Is, of course, as we already talked about with the pacing issues. And then, of course, we also do have some tech issues as well here. And the major tech issue I went into was mainly made up of texture not loading. Not popping in. Just absolutely not loading. It had been parts of the game where I went to areas where literally everything is just a giant bore, like PS2 graphic type of area. Other times in cutscenes when important like dialogue supposed to be happening and they showing you things like on a map or on like a board or something, it will not actually show it. And that is very, very irritating. And in return, it really thought like showing how a little unpolished this is, especially on original PS4 hardware. And then on top of that, there is a lot of frame rate issue that especially start coming into play in the later half of the game that is pretty much comes out of nowhere. You would think there would be a lot of frame rate issue when it comes to fighting thousands of zombies, but no, most of the time, it literally you just be driving in an open field, or maybe you go through a bush and the frame rate will drop down to like 15 digits, like 15, 16 frames a second most of the time, which is a little irritating because it mainly whenever you're trying to travel around and traveling around on your bike is a little bit of a learning curve, since your bike is very wiggly a bit, which is very easy to turn around or, of course, like, just, like, slide your back half of your vehicle around to do, like, a drift. But once you get a hang of it, it's not so bad, but it is a little bit of an issue in the beginning, as you are just trying to figure out how to get around in it, and is a learning curve, sadly. And the last thing on the combat, though, the combat starting out is another one of them issues that fall into just like the disconnect in the story in the beginning. The combat in the very beginning is all the enemies, humans, non-humans, animals, since you can of course hunt as well to get currency heal, but pretty much any type of encounter, might be melee or with gun, against anything is super like spongy. It really feels like your enemy is just soaking up hits or soaking up ammo, which in return get better once you unlock more weapons, or once you actually level up, since we do have a level up and a skill tree in this, because of course we do, which would mainly break up into hand-to-hand, gun combat, and of course surviving out in the wild, might be, you know, collecting flowers and whatnot. So this is one of them games overall that is not good, it is not bad. It is a game. If you can get a past for a handful of hours and you get to the moment where the light switch go off and the characters become characters, it is a lot to enjoy here. Does it do anything really all that interesting though? Not really. It do a good enough job to get by. And if you are interested in having the more OCD checklist thing of camps, bandits, collecting random stuff, and you want a game that is over 50 hours long, probably looking at more like 80 if you're trying 100% this, it probably worth your money. But just know the game don't really do anything that interesting or that much of a greatness, I guess you can say. But with that being said, I can see the sequel to this being over the moon fantastic. But the first attempt though is extremely safe at the end of the day. I will leave that up to you if that's something you want to go into. Also, Godspeed trying to get past the full 8 hours or so. But if you can get past that, it is worth it. Any if it mainly worth it because of the character and the interaction with everyone around them. Not so much the overall plot or the gameplay itself. So, with that being said, overall, I give Days Gone on the PS4 a 6.5 out of 10. Okay. Am I out of ammo? I am totally out of ammo again. Okay. Maybe do